Well, so when I first started recruiting Gabby, she was my biggest recruit at the time. It was a foundation for what the golf team was going to be going forward. She was the number one player that I had in mind, and brought her up here on a visit. She came with her father. It was probably the first time that I really did like a huge recruiting trip for her, or for anybody for that matter. And when I first learned about Gabby's personality is that, she's super quiet, super shy. And to be honest with you, I did not think that the visit actually went well. I did not think that we were going to get her at all. And then a couple of days later, I'd spoken with her again, a follow-up, and they were very happy, and she decided to come. So it very much surprised me, but it was also like a great surprise. So Gabby as a golfer was just all-around great player. Hardworking. She was extremely demanding in her own game, extremely fierce competitor. And she also did, she was an exceptional ball striker and just very consistent from tee to green. Obviously her biggest hang-up was always, putting. She was always going to score and finish however well she putted that day. And it was always her biggest issue going through. In 2015, we had just come off losing 3 championships in a row to LIU after we had won 4. Like I said before, Gabby was brought in here to kind of train to rebuild that. And going into that year, no other team had ever won 4 in a row besides us. So we were determined to not let that happen again. And that particular championship in that day, they didn't expect us to win. But we knew we had the team. They were all coming together like we normally kind of peak at the right time, and she did. That whole season for her was actually a very much of a struggle. She didn't play well early on. It's not because she didn't hit the ball well. It's just like a lot of the freshmen that come in from different parts of the areas and different parts of the country or world, the grass conditions are just different. And she had a hard time getting used to the bent grass greens up here in the rough and all that, being from Puerto Rico and playing in Bermuda her life. But I think that's the reason why she actually played so well at conferences, because the conditions were the same and she was used to it, and then she just kind of blossomed from there. But that particular Sunday, I remember it vividly actually, because it was obviously one of the best rounds we've ever seen at that point, up until that point. Bogey-free round, 70 I believe it was. But I remember coming down the stretch, it was really tight as well. On the 16th hole, I believe, is where it really changed for the whole program and for our team, but she was a big part of that, obviously. But I remember her making a big up and down on the par 5 16th hole, where the LIU girl made double, and then Gabby hit it on the 17th hole par 3 green. Because I was with her, I remember this. It was very far away. She had it must have been like a 90 or 100-foot putt, because the green is very long. And I think she ended up making like a 25-footer to save par on that hole. And then on the 18th hole, with everything happening around her, she's still, fairway green, par, end of story. We win, she wins. It's unbelievable. Gabby was, like I said before, she was the centerpiece for our team at that time. All the pieces that are around her were put around her because of her. So until you got to know her, until she felt comfortable around you, she was always very quiet and very shy. She was well respected by her teammates, obviously. But she was a leader by example. She practiced hard, she worked hard, and the girls around her kind of followed that. But once you got to know her and she, let her guard down a little bit, she's very funny and she's very goofy, actually. When we go on some of these longer trips, a lot of times the players are tired, and she would sleep in the van a lot. And this is when we learned about her that she sleeps with one eye open. So we were kind of like, we weren't sure if she was watching us or she was actually sleeping, but it was something that was always stick out in my mind. It was just that one time in the back bench, seeing her sleeping, not knowing if she was really sleeping or not, because her one eye is always open. But it's just crazy, but it's kind of funny. I wanted to bring Gabby back as a graduate assistant coach because she had already done everything that everyone else is going to want to do. Rookie of the year, conference player, conference champion. So she had she knew. I knew what she would bring to the program, and with her skill level and her knowledge of the game, I knew she would be an exceptional coach as far as being able to help people out on the golf course, having good swing knowledge. And I just knew that being in that winning culture, that with the players respecting her, that they would like to have her around, they wouldn't mind having her around, and she would make an amazing coach. It is my honor, it is my privilege to officially induct Gabriela Santini into the FDU Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Gabby.